When I first heard of the term matrix, this is what came into my mind. But we're not going to discuss about this matrix. We're going to discuss about the matrix which we use in mathematics. So today we're going to look at how to add two matrices. So let's get started.
This program, we will take an A matrix and a B matrix and we're gonna add them and we're gonna store that in a matrix called C. So addition of matrix is very simple. We add this element, the first element in this and the second element in this way, and the second element and this element. We represent this by A11 and A12, A21 and A22. So we add the A11 here in this matrix and the A11 in this matrix, A22 in this matrix and the A22 in this matrix, and the same way A33 plus A33 and A44 plus A44. We add all of them, we store them in a matrix called C and we print it out. It's that simple. Create 4 variables A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Now we'll create a scanner class. And we'll create 2 variables. Now we have created these variables A, B, C, D. A and B we're gonna use for mentioning the number of rows and columns. So first we'll write enter the number of rows and columns. A equals, we're gonna take the user input for this, sc.nextInt. B equals sc dot extend. Now we'll create 3 array variables which are first, second and sum. Inside the sum we are gonna store the sum of first and second. So we'll create 3 array variables. First, since it's a 2-dimensional array, we're putting 2 boxes, equals new int A and B. Since A and B represent the number of rows and columns, so and second equals new int and then int sum equals new int So we've created these 3 variables. Now let's enter the elements for the first matrix. So for that we need to write a for loop now. For the elements for the first matrix, we are writing these printout statements so that the code looks a bit organized and easy to understand. For C equals 0, C less than A, since A is the number of rows, C++. Another for loop, so we are writing a nested for loop since we have to write it for the rows and columns. For D equals 0, D less than B, D plus plus. First CD equals SC dot next. So what we've done here, we've written C equals 0, C less than A, and C plus plus. So this is for the number of rows, and this B is for the number of columns. And in order to enter a matrix, we need to specify the number of rows and columns. So here we first of all we specify the number of rows. For example, if it's a 2 into 2 matrix, we choose the value of A as 2 and the value of B as 2. Then it is only gonna store the values that a 2 into 2 matrix is capable of storing. It will not go beyond that. So for that we are specifying this for loop here. Now we will store the values for the second matrix. Enter the values for second matrix. It's the same thing again. We write 2 for loops. Too lazy to type them, so copy and paste. Yes. Second. Write the for loop again, and now we'll create in this variable sum. We're gonna store the sum of A and B. I mean the first and second, not the A and B. So sum C D equals first CD plus second D. Yes. Now we need to print this variable sum. So for that, let's write a sysouts statement. Out of flow, I'm writing again the same thing. Enter the result is. Again we need to write the for loop, and then sysout sum of CD plus, let's leave out some gap here. It should be print so that everything will be printed in a horizontal manner, and we'll write a sysout statement here. Closing brace. Run the code, enter the number of rows and columns. So let's keep it simple. We'll put 2 rows and 2 columns. So the elements of the first matrix 1 2 3 4. Second matrix is 5 6 7 8. So you could see here the sum is 6 8 10 12. So this is how we add 2 matrices using arrays. Now I'll summarize the whole code. So we've taken 4 variables A, B, C, D, and we have created a scanner class here. After that, A represents the number of rows, B represents the number of columns, and we'll take the user input for both A and B. Then we've created 3 variables, first, second, and sum, the sum of first and second would be stored inside this variable called sum, and after that here the a and b represent the number of rows and the number of columns. After that we are printing out, we need to enter the elements for the first matrix. So in order to enter the elements, we are using the nested for loop here, where a represents the number of rows and b represents the number of columns. So here this is for the first matrix, and this is for the, let me scroll down, this is for the second matrix. After that, after we have written for both the matrices, we are storing the sum in a variable called sum. We are storing it inside this variable. For that also we are using the nested for loop. After we have stored this sum inside this variable, we need to print this variable out. So for that we are printing out that variable here. We have used the print statement here so that everything will be printed in a horizontal manner, and finally we have wrote this sysout statement so that after each and every loop the next loop will be printed in a new line. So for that we are writing this print out statement here. So this is how the code works. This is how we write.
Now we've looked at how to add two matrices. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel.